Let's talk about 18th question. PA comma B is the midpoint of a line segment between axes. Show that equation of the line is this: x by a plus y by b is equal to 2. Okay, let's deal with this one. So P is the midpoint of a line segment between axes. Without lots of generality, let's take point P on the first quadrant, right? A and B correspondingly will be this midpoint of a line segment between axes. So let's say this point A and B are the points of intersection of line with the axis, x-axis and y-axis respectively. This is the origin, and the midpoint is P. This P, A comma B, is the midpoint of this line segment AB now. Okay. Show that equation of the line. So we are supposed to find the equation of line. If we can find that, very good. So let's call this point A h comma 0. Let it be h comma 0. Let this be 0 comma k. Can we begin with this? Yes. This here is the midpoint. Yes. So let A h comma 0 and B 0 comma k are the intercepts. Oh, do you remember the equation in terms of both intercepts, right? You remember the equation x by A, or which will become x by h, plus y upon b, which is k is equal to 1, is the equation of line actually. This is the equation of line. This is something we remember, right, from the concepts of equation of straight line. Okay, so if I can find h and k, maybe in terms of a and b, because only a and b are given. If I can do that, then I can easily write the equation. Let's try to find h and k. Okay, the midpoint of AB is P. So coordinates of P will be x1 plus x2 by 2, which is h plus 0 by 2, comma y1 plus y2 by 2, which is 0 plus k by 2. But these coordinates are given as a comma b. Okay, this tells me h by 2 comma k by 2. This is equivalent to a comma b, or you can say h by 2 is equal to a, h equals to a, and k equals to b. This equals this, this equals this. So you get the value of h, you get the value of k. Therefore, equation of line which is required was x upon h plus y upon k equals 1, which becomes, let's substitute h and k, x by 2a plus y by 2b equals 1, or which can be further, you can multiply by 2, this becomes x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. That's the required answer for this question over here. Mind you, I can solve this directly from here, from this diagram as well. And how can I do that? If I can find this point here only, it is very much possible. So if I mark this point as h, instead of writing this point as h, let's take a look at this. This is midpoint, right? Imagine this triangle over here. Okay. Imagine this point over here. This is midpoint, and therefore this, if this line is parallel to this, this will also be the midpoint of this side. Yes. By you have studied triangles, right? And in triangles you have studied something called midpoint theorem. What does it say? If a line is parallel to base, passes through midpoint of one side, it will also pass through the midpoint of other side, right? This is the base, this is a line which is parallel. If this is the midpoint, this will also be the midpoint. So this is the midpoint A, okay? This distance is A, and this will also be A, so this will actually be 2a comma 0. Yes, I'll directly write x by 2a. Similarly, if I draw a line which is parallel to the base, this base, and this is the midpoint, therefore this will also be the midpoint, therefore this distance b will imply this distance b, this distance b, this becomes 0 comma 2b, I'll directly write y upon 2b, that will be equal to 1. Simple approach, right? In future you will encounter questions maybe wherein this ratio will not be 1:1, this ratio will be something else, but still you can apply similar concepts, right? Basic proportionality theorem comes into the picture. What says that if this ratio is lambda is to, if this ratio is m is to n, this ratio will also be m is to n. This length is known, you can easily find this length and therefore the total length. Yes. If this ratio is m is to n, this ratio will also be m is to n. Using that idea, you can directly write coordinates of A and B. On the basis of that, you can directly reach this stage. Therefore, get the equation of line, right? shorter, simpler approach can be followed for such questions in future, wherein you write A and B directly. But here, I hope this is also clear. We have found that A and B using that section formula only, right? That only. That's a similar approach, and this question is clear. After this, let's move on to the next one.